Good afternoon and welcome. We are at Greenside, Johannesburg, of course, the home of Pirates Rugby Club for what is going to be a fantastic match. Club Rugby in focus as they face Lifestyle Alberton in the Memorial Cup under the auspices of the Golden Lions Rugby Union. Thank you very much for joining us. It's going to be a fantastic afternoon of action as we look at the match here in two sides with contrasting fortunes in the tournament thus far. But the home team Pirates, they still have a realistic chance of giving it a go and winning this tournament outright. Joining me not only to analyze but also to commentate this afternoon, none other than our very own Troki, Lawrence Parker, joining us. Lawrence, very good to have you here. Before we talk about the matchup, let's talk about Alberton, because this is a club that's near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, no, afternoon, Udo, and I can say that Alberton has come a long way. It's a very old club with rich traditions in terms of it's a community rugby. And basically, they all try to keep everything community. They try to get everyone involved. There's some supporting schools around there as well that make sure that the system keeps on rolling. They always produce some of the best under 21s. And obviously, I think when it becomes to that level of bit of seniority and stuff like that, they tend to have a bit of a challenge because, I think guys are a bit stuck between professional and social and taking themselves seriously at the same time. But others are just there to make sure that they get to enjoy themselves and enjoy the rugby that they love so much.
We're going to touch on just what the place of club rugby is in South Africa at the moment in 2021, but let's reflect on just what is happening at Lifestyle Alberton with their president.
Good afternoon. Here I'm standing with the president of Alberton Rugby Club, new president of Alberton Rugby Club. How are you doing?
Very well. Excited for the day.
And tell me, you're excited with the day, but you're almost the guy who's off the field situations. How are things looking in Alberton in terms of the preparations and obviously for the year and time to come?
Lawrence, yes, I must say, to be honest, it's overwhelming actually. We've got like you can see, we've got Lifestyle behind us. We've got there's a lot of sponsors that's actually basically backing us, all local people. We've got the local guys coming back to us, and the community is behind us. Let me tell you that there's big things coming up at Alberton. We invested now in infrastructure. We're busy with the pavilions and the fields. So ons werk lekker hard. But I can tell you for next year, my guys knows, my boys know, the club is growing. I must say the club is growing rapidly. So I'm happy, yes, yeah.
That's lovely to see. In terms of now growth, I understand it's a social game, and obviously you're trying to bring the young lighties, but at the same time, now how do you look after the lighties in terms of a career-wise, going forward, education and stuff like that? I know it's a club, doesn't have much, but in terms of now encouraging them to get into either get a job or get a situation and education, how do you look at those things planning?
Very good question. Now I'll tell you, you won't believe it. The club actually, like I say, we're community-wise. The community stands behind the club. The players will speak, everything speaks for itself at the Alberton Rugby Club. And let me tell you, the club is growing. We've got the community behind us. we're giving jobs out. The local business people, they're coming to us. They're giving us jobs. We created a fund. I must say, with Ramon Klaus, he's my marketing manager. With him behind me, and all the people working with me. Beautiful. No, they're with us.
Thanks, Danny. Obviously, lovely to hear that things are going well, and thank you for your time. Danny, obviously, lovely to hear that things are going well, and thank you for your time, and hopefully for the best for the future.
Thank you, Lawrence. Thanks, man.
So very excitable, thank you, Peter, there. And interesting and also impressive that a club side in Johannesburg can feature Lawrence Parker, a brand name title sponsor to their name. So things are going well there. But I want to ask you in general, just club rugby as a feeder like it used to be back traditionally, those days have changed. What is the place of club rugby in South Africa right now?
I must say the club rugby scenario is kind of a sad story since professionalism. I think professionalism has taken away something from club rugby. They've completely forgotten that club is supposed to be a feeder system. Now when it came to varsity cup, it actually got worse as well, because now when you look at feeder system, you tend to look at varsity level, because you're getting the right kind of people, young, enthusiastic, educated, and then pushing them into the professional system. But you must also remember, not everyone can go to universities, so there needs to be something that needs to be done to make sure that club rugby doesn't die. If club rugby dies, generally the provinces will also go the sideways because not enough university will actually get to feed all the professional system that we have in South Africa.
Well, I hope that system does continue to feed rugby in South Africa at the highest level. Now, we caught up as well with the chairman of Pirates Rugby Club, and believe you me, what really sets them apart is just how much they're working on growing talent at a very young age. Mr. Guy, my hosts for the day. It must be exciting to have the crowds out and about at such a pedigreed club like Pirates.
Yeah, listen, we're super proud to have club rugby on the go at the moment. It's an absolute privilege to have the guys back on the field. It's been an up and down year, there's no doubt about it. But the fact that the Golden Lions have worked incredibly hard to get us to this point and to be able to play in the Memorial Cup has been super special for the guys so far.
I've had my privilege of playing my cricket out here, and sort of in between seasons you see a gang of young people here. Talk to us about the development structures and bleeding that young talent.
Yeah, listen, hell of important to us. We're super proud of our structures. At the moment we've got 450 boys from the age of under 6 to under 18s. We're running 5 senior sides plus reserves, and we've got a very strong old boys section. And super exciting for us, we've got a very, very successful women's rugby team that's actually won the league this year and part of our development program going forward.
Can you win this thing? Can you take the Memorial Cup?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a good side, we've got a confident side. We're sitting at 12-2 at the moment for the season. Alberton are coming here for us. There's always a target on our back when we play teams like this. Alberton are doing amazing things at the moment from a club perspective. So today's going to be a quality game.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Cool. Cheers.
That, of course, is what we are playing for, the Memorial Cup under the auspices of the Golden Lions Rugby Union. It used to be the Pirates Challenge Cup, but COVID put it to that. And kudos to GLRU for making sure that a tournament does end off this year, because it is so important that we are able to get going with rugby again. Before we get back to my man Lawrence Parker, let's hear from him in conversation with the coach of Alberton.
Francois, hoe gaan het vandaag?
Nee, lekker zelf, Lawrence.
Lekker man, jullie spelen een van de grote mannen vandaag, Pirates Rugby Club. Wat is de plannen voor vandaag?
Ja, Lawrence is altijd lekker om naar inside te komen. Ja, dat is een groot span met al groot rugby gespeeld. Ik denk vandaag dat we een groot pak voor ons en we willen graag die bal wijd vat. Harde rugby gespeeld zoals Alberton bekend is voor, champagne rugby.
Denk je staat een kans in termen van een beetje onder druk te zetten, of gaan jullie backline? Want hulle is ook blijkbaar bang voor jullie backline, so gaan hulle een beetje voor ons iets wijzen?
Ach ja, ik denk dat het backline geweest. Ons lezen van daar leven door die forwards. Ik de jong pak forwards, wat bij mobile is. Dus ik wil die van daar leef voorlangs en dan achter weer wijd spelen.
Nee, ons zitten naar die goede rugby en bij sterkte.
Dank je, Lawrence.
Well, there we go, Lawrence Parker in conversation there with the coach of Alberton. Maar Lawrence, ek moet jou nou vra, deesdae as jy mos nou noordelike voorstede van Johannesburg. Wat het jy deesdae daar gaan doen in Alberton, John?
Listen, Udo, in order to understand what coaching is, you need to be able to coach at every level, professional, semi-professional, and absolutely amateur, to understand the kind of patience and tenacity these guys have to be able to motivate someone who actually doesn't know how to motivate themselves, and able to get someone up, to get them excited about something that's probably has got nothing on the other side of the edge, but to be able to get them up, to actually come and show and put a body on the end of the line. Must understand, then you're talking about guys who actually have got passion for the game. So if you haven't coached at that level and you're pushing to go professional and all those things, then you really need to understand that rugby, it's more than just showing up on the day or being on TV. You need to have the passion for the game, have the passion in all aspects of the game, and obviously about giving back.
Yeah.
Remember, we all sometimes take. Sometimes, you know, it's all good to give back and actually trying to inspire the talent that you have just to pass it on.
But I know that you loved your time at Alberton, because I've looked at the ways that the guys have been responding to you today, and they still love Lawrence Parker.
No, that's the key though. Remember, when you go there, you don't go Lawrence Parker the big shot. You go Lawrence Parker, I'm here to give what I can give. You can take as much as you take. And obviously, if they've taken and they appreciate what they've taken, it's all good. I've done my part in order to instill something in someone else so that they can use it better or pass it on to someone else as well.
Well, there we go. Lawrence Parker, the pride of lifestyle Alberton Rugby Club. I can promise you that much. Now, we caught up with the coach of Pirates as well. Like I said, they are still in with a realistic chance of challenging in the Memorial Cup. Mark, talk to us about the style of rugby that we can expect to be played between these two teams today.
Sure, I think it's going to be a battle up front. We're going to try to dominate them as best we can there, get their pack around the field if we can, and to open up some space for our back. So I think it's going to be a tough battle up front, but hopefully as the game wears on, it'll open up a bit for us. And and the breakdowns also. So we're concerned about the breakdowns. We're going to work very hard on that area to make sure we get clean ball.
How tough has it been coming off the COVID break to play at the highest level you possibly can and be a threat in this competition?
Yeah, it was very, very hard. We started so well in the season, and that break has really caused a number of issues. Decline in fitness, which is very hard for club players to get back on top when you're competing against the universities. Also, loss of players just generally because of work issues, family issues. The club has really gone through quite a lot as far as its players go, but we have managed to keep guys down, keep them motivated, keep them training, and so we are doing well, but it has been a very tough year.
I've got to ask you, there is a bit of a chasm growing between the university clubs who play in Varsity Cup and then the rest of the amateur club scene in South Africa. That chasm is only set to grow, isn't it?
I'm not so sure if it will. The focus by SARU is now pushing back into the club structure, so I do feel like over time it'll close up a bit. It is always going to be hard for us. Obviously, they get the best talent because of the bursary system that they work, and the guys do get a little bit of money, I think, as well. But for our guys, it's all amateur, so it's very tough for them to make the time to be down at practice all the time, and so their pressures are different. So there is definitely a chasm. But because obviously you're getting these young talented players who do it all the time, and guys who are working and have got lives to live. But the way it is working with SARU, we do feel that we'll start picking up some more talented players, and that'll help us going forward.
Good luck for today, Coach.
Right, thank you very much.
And there we go, Mark Ford, the coach of the bookmakers' favourites, the clear favourites, to be honest with you, on paper at least, for today's game. But don't tell Lawrence Apaka about that. Quick little break on the other side. It's the first half. Pirates Rugby Club home to Lifestyle Alberton. Can't wait. Got you loud and clear, James. Home team first. Third win in a row today. That's all. Happiness. Yeah. It's just good to be out.
I'm telling you, my brother. Mix and match it. As long as it's rugby, it's good. Keep it alive.
Welcome to it. We're at Pirates Rugby Club, one of the famed institutions of the game in Johannesburg, South Africa. The home team up against Lifestyle Alberton today in one of the last few rounds in the Memorial Cup. That's how they line up today. The home team, Pirates Rugby Club, led by their captain, Sheldon ter Blanche. My co-commentator, Lawrence Apaka, talk to us about the players in the side.
Yeah, good afternoon, Uru and the viewers. And then certainly it's going to be a crack of a match today. I mean, look at that pack. That pack, obviously, Alberton is scared of. But Alberton is looking forward to actually exploit and push their backs and to make sure they actually keep a ball away from rucks. We'll be showing some champagne rugby, they call it. I don't know if they could say that in Alberton. But anyway, let's hope it's champagne rugby.
Yeah, there certainly will be a bit of a sparkle as we are out and about here on SABC Sport for the start of this match. A player's about to get off, and it looks great out at Pirates Rugby Club. Of course, lockdown level 1, you can have 2,000 people at outdoor events. As Alberton make their way to the field now, led by the capable Brian Sola, not in shot at the moment, but the coach, Francois Lowe, hoping that his boys up front can compete. But as you said, it's a team that thrives on unleashing that back line.
No, and I'm telling you, but they can surprise you as well sometimes, because in terms of in terms of talent that they have, in terms of how they show up on the day, it's going to depend how the mood is from there individually. But they certainly can do the job. Bransola is an enthusiastic individual. I know him personally, and he's very vocal, and hopefully he can pick up his guy. A guy like Lindo is going to be asked to come up and show up today. A very strong young fella at tight head today. He's going to be making sure that he gives them something to play off.
Well, there we go. I don't know if today's record is anything to go by. So far, the under-21s from Alberton have lost 45-15 to Pirates. The seconds, 38-3 to Pirates. Your thoughts here, Mr. Alberton?
I'm telling you, Ludo, you don't understand. I mean, this is like the flagship team of a club. Doesn't matter what the other teams are doing. Because what happens, if they can turn things around, keep the score low. If they can keep it low, they might have done well for the team and actually make sure that they push up the flag and keep it on. Obviously, the holds here today, they've got other plans in up their sleeve.
I know you're feeling it right now, led by their captain, the hooker, Sheldon ter Blanche. It's a menacing front row for the Pirates side, and also capably at the back, some really good game breakers, line breakers in that side as well.
But I'm telling you, Ludo, it's actually very interesting. Everyone is excited about the champagne that the backs are going to be offering us today. What I'm telling you, though, the cracker that we're going to be having, there's that front rowers. I mean, even Kutse on the tight end, and Bill Kutse is a formidable himself, but the opportunity to work with him as well. And he's very strong, he's very passionate. As soon as he can get on top of you, could be a very long day for you and the opponent.
The referee today is Yurei Buata, the man who will be in charge. There is a stiff breeze as you look at your screen from left to right, so it will be a Pirates kickoff and perhaps advantage to Alberton in this first half with the breeze as it is blowing.
Yeah, and I think this will be advisable to try hang it as long as possible. Try to push it far, because the wind will definitely bring it back, because the wind is pushing from north to south. It's against Pirates at the moment if they've intended of keeping the ball alive.
Devanal will get the game underway. The fly-off for Pirates, a man who's been involved in the Lions Currie Cup setup before. It's a good hanging kick in this big breeze. Clean take. First contact. Nice clean possession. Alberton looking to go through the phases. Brian Sola with a good pass outside. Thorn Kumalu looking to make some headway down that flank, but nothing there for him. Offside call by the referee. First penalty of the game.
Yeah, I would have told them, when they call him the White Fox. Dinas van der Merwe is also a guy's been reffed up by the coach and said, listen, he gives a man with experience. He's played internationally in terms of touch rugby, but obviously we know he can mix it up physically as well. He's a man who's currently bulky built for a fly-off, but I think here today, the reason he took it up as well is because of the advantage of being offside, but now they've got an opportunity to have a line-out. Usually we're also going to be telling how Brian is set up for this situation.
Quentin du Plessis with ball in hand. You've been coaching this Alberton side in the lineouts all day long. Block it in front, block it at the back. Let's see what he can do. Du Plessis finds his catcher beautifully, but Unfortunately, errant hands early in the game. There was an opportunity there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with the wind playing effect, I think that ball needed to be flat and hard because there was no contact as well from Pirates. Surprisingly enough, it was a nice option at the back. Unfortunately, the wind being at Achilles heel for Alberton there. Now, obviously, that's not very far from another first phase. You know, this first phase, one of my favorite parts as well. When it comes to scrummaging, let's see what Lindo's going to do. But obviously, this time, I think it's up for them to see if they can put Pirates under pressure. What a great opportunity, right in the middle of the field. If you get in trouble, this is probably give a penalty where make sure you're making a statement.
Lindo Tladla up against Dylan Bakos in the first scrum of the afternoon. An epic tussle awaits. Tladla being pushed back there. And the referee put the long arm up.
Alberton kindly G'd up the field, and we had a thing to do with that reset there at the moment. I think Lindo needs to be careful because if he's going to go in, he's going to make sure he stays down. If he stands up, it's going to be looking like he's going in. And obviously, Mandela is not a slouch when it comes to the scrumming department. I mean, also work with him there at school level. He's actually a stooge prop as well. He knows the game physically and obviously tends to teach as well. But here, he's going to make sure he stabilizes so that then drill on this side can keep the scrum, give them a right shoulder. A right shoulder will be ideal for they get an 8-9-14. But obviously their intention is to milk a penalty out of the scrum, which they do.
Looks more stable. Esteresen gets it going, but once again, from the scrum half to the center, Duncan Dalport, I'm afraid he's dropped that one.
Yeah, no, like we've predicted, they want to make sure because they know they come with high reputation. They're going to actually tighten the screw from the early stages, and that's exactly what they did. They were not looking for specifically a shoulder. They were looking to make sure that they drill Alberton into submission and make sure they give away penalty. And from there, get an easy 20 meters like that, and the line out close to the thing, which I suppose, if they keep it with the forwards as well, then another thing now is to make sure they get that line out. They've seen with Alberton trying to go middle and back is a bit of a problem. You need to actually make sure you get a front ball. Once you get that front ball, set up a decent drive, and obviously from there, it basically is up to you how well you set it to make sure you get advantage and meters. But obviously the backs here are not keen to start running, but the setup look like they want to hit it close by as well.
Captain Sheldon Terblanche with a bit of a messy throw. Alberton have the ball, good possession, swung out and looking to keep it going, but I'm afraid we've seen for the umpteenth time in all three matches played so far this afternoon that the handling has not been particularly good.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. I think someone done something very silly there, actually putting a shoulder into someone with actually nothing to do with the game, off the field situation, pure ill discipline so early in the game. That's not very good from the hosts, and obviously it's something they're not looking for. I mean, the flanker is just putting his own team under pressure. I don't know, that's overconfidence of Koki, but that was really unnecessary. Trying to make a statement that got a direct opposition, that actually gave a penalty away. Now putting his own team up, I'm sure coach wouldn't be very happy with that.
3 penalties conceded in the first 4 minutes of the game. Benny Boerta's getting a good touch finder for Alberton. Puts them within the 22-meter range. Another bit of a messy line out, and it's Pirates who have the possession. Will come out through Johan Esteresen. Carry allowed to release the ball there. Scrum off looking for the box kick that is so prevalent in rugby these days. Possession retained by Pirates, very well done. Take it up to close to the halfway line now, but an attempted interception. There's your man, Lindo Tladla, looking for the possession, but I'm afraid the knock-on will go in favor of the Pirates team. They've got front foot ball here as they get the feed into the scrum.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a bit of a turvy at the moment in terms of skill levels. And I can understand the wind is not really helping the guys. I mean, over those 50-50s, if they're not getting to hand, the guys are knocking on. We've been having a lot of scrums early in the game. So I suppose the tight five is happy. They're in the game as soon as possible as they can. And then the Pirates having the opportunity to feed, I'm sure, and Rilna is in total control on that side of the field with Dylan and making sure they're going to get this. Now Alberton needs to really stand up and try at least to account for the resistance.
An ascendancy here for Alberton.
Yeah, and I think the tight head or drill must have been penalized for actually binding on the arm, which is an easy dead giveaway in terms of. Yeah, no, it can't be on this side, because on this side was 100%. It must have been the tight head who actually got, maybe on a bind on the arm, got a call from the light touch that. An easy call there for the ref to make. So things like that are necessary mistakes that's putting Pirates under pressure, or things that are actually not needed. That can actually give Alberton just enough confidence to actually get him in the game at the moment, because they are underdogs. They've got nothing to lose, but Pirates have got a lot to lose because they need to show why they're the favorites.
Quentin du Plessis with a feed will be Alberton ball. Very important scrum, that last one that Alberton got the penalty from, because their coach Francois Lowe said if he is worried about one thing, it is the pack dominance of Pirates. And so far they've held their own, and they also have possession now inside the 22 of Pirates. Lindo Dladla taking it a meter forward. It's swung out by Alan Roberts. Late replacement in this game. Fullback Anton Vlok joins the line, runs across the field now, needs to straighten it up, he does, but all very static for Alberton. And now there's a chance for Thorn Khumalo, who's put the afterburners on, but good defense from his opposite number. Cleaned up nicely. Do they have the exit game now, Pirates? The legend, Anton Vlok. Will he find touch? Beautiful in these tough, windy conditions.
Well, I suppose that was wind used to good effect, and obviously a good 40-meter exit there. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't have done better on any other day, but I suppose that was a good exit because they were really under the cosh, under pressure. Alberton showing their mettle when it comes to the ball in hand, and obviously the glimpses that they were talking about. Clearly we can see that there's something there, but important things first, they need to secure and make sure they give the backs good platform to play from. And obviously Anton Vlok, the legend himself, played a couple of games with him. I mean, he's the old man in terms of age, but obviously with the kind of speed that he possesses, and obviously a bit of space is dangerous.
Another messy line out. The Pirates will have the possession. It's good work there. Esterhuizen getting them going. Dylan Buck was carrying the ball up now. Esterhuizen feeds. Duncan Safi will gain a few yards. Some good phases put together here by Pirates. And now beautiful step inside. Ilenga Mukendi. Tighten it up again. Now with a bit of a hospital pass. Alberton now on the ascendancy. Thorn Khumalo, as he got his match beating. He's around the outside. First points of the game. That will please Lawrence Abaka.
That's what you call a thoroughbred, and that you don't give him with the space in hand. And if he can see it, I have no doubt you could see that he didn't even have time to push that ball to the left end. He knew that it was all for money, turnover ball. And the right thing was also down from the knock-on. Unfortunately, Henry Line able to contain that ball. And Alberton, the nice thing that you do, I mean, at professional level, they tell you, first pass is do from a turnover. Send it to the guy in the open. And they did perfectly. He didn't need the two men or the one man on the outside. Said, thank you very much. This is what I was born for. I'll do this. Thank you very much. This is a thoroughbred because it's an athletic background, which actually give him things like this in making look like a slouch.
Gotta say that Alberton have been feeding off some of the mistakes from Pirates in the first half. Benny Bortas, the man who's been kicking the touch finders, is the man who has the honors at kicking at goal as well. He's got the look of a...
Benny Borta himself, the number 12, is actually a fly background, so then maybe that's why he's kicking. Benny Borta, and then obviously, and he's making sure obviously the wind is not helping him. Hopefully the ref is going to give him a discount in that time countdown, and a beautiful strike.
Flag stay down though, so the opportunity for the conversion missed. As I said, Benny Bortas, the look of a young policeman in a fledgling career. Makes his way back. Just have a look here again at how quickly Alberton turned defense into attack, and once Thorn Khumalo saw that the field had opened to him, put his ears back, and nobody was going to stop him. Cover defense nowhere to be found for Pirates. So against the run of play of what we've seen across the day, it's Alberton on the board first.
Yeah, no, Pirates needs to correct that and make sure they get into the game.
Jared Branco looking for the touch finder, but he'll miss it. It's the 8th man for Pirates. Rowan Kutzer gets them going. It's another kick more in hope in this blusty wind here at Pirates. Well controlled by Alberton. Now the field opens up. Number 15, Anton Flock. Curial old man, chance there, but a knock on. Bit of a hospital pass.
Alberton captain Brian Sola unable to hold on to that. Obviously was also guilty for going into contact too upright. I mean, he didn't give himself a chance with two bullocking props waiting for him. He had no chance. So at least if he had a ball, he probably saw them.
The curse of peripheral vision, because you know they're coming, you know the contact is coming, and it plays in your mind.
No, I suppose the pressure pass as well, because it was right on the advantage line, so it was supposed for someone coming at speed and actually to collect as well. So obviously now Alberton, just the discipline as well. The ability to stay in the fight has got him on the scoreboard. So Paris must have a lot of questions on their mind. Guys, do we panic? Or do we actually go through our phases? Because they were doing everything right. Just at one knock on, they were not ready for the counter. But now they're in their 22, or just outside the 22, right in the middle of the 22. They're a bit far from it to see, but I think just outside the 22. So they really need to actually run this ball, because now you can't kick direct because it's outside the 22. So
before we get there, very important scrum. The last scrum yielding a penalty to Alberton. It is a Pirates feed.
No, I don't think it's an issue of a weak scrummaging, just ill discipline or not following your processes, or over eager to take on the opponent. You need to go through your processes and make sure that you take your opponent directly, legally, and make sure you keep your side of the things clean, and the referee in the middle is going to do his job. And obviously the scrum is solid for Pirates. Let's need to get that ball. They need to run it again without the pressure as well. Oh, no.
I called it. I told you. It just looked unsettled as they engaged one another. And once again, the problems for Pirates on the far side, that will be on Andriel Kutsia's side of the scrum.
Now, I think Andriel has probably been found, and when Duncan Claus himself is actually a man who's actually has got a very sound technique at tight head. Now being played at loose head, so clearly that's a lesser difficult position. So you got to make sure now that you get that right. I think Andriel, if he's not taking care of him, he's going to be under the coach the whole day, because it's very important as a tight head that you actually isolate your loose head, keep him under control and wait for the pressure to come through. And at the moment the ball took too long and Andriel didn't have control, and Alberton is sensing that they're getting on top of things here, which I suppose is a suppressed element the coach Francholo was talking about, that they actually have got ability to come in. And now obviously the naughty boy coming to join his team. Maybe that was a difference as well. They were actually with one man down, and Alberton have a full complement of the 8. Maybe that probably tell the tale as well.
Johan Reinicke back on the field, received a bit of treatment. They go right at the back of the line out, does Quentin du Plessis, and now the line out drive. Warning signs, danger signs for Pirates. Keep it tight, inches away from that try line. The ball's there, it's visible, can be played, and now darting for that line again. Rapid defense by Pirates, but a handling error. That's gone back though. They should still have possession of the ball. And the referee saw an infringement there. They'll call them back to the mark.
Yeah, the ref called them for coming from the side. Clearly with the way Alberton was driving, they had momentum on their side, and obviously all they needed to do was a bit of patience, and obviously with the advantage that they had, I think they're gonna tap and go.
There's a tap and go. Lindo Dladla had possession of the ball. Lovely, sulky pass. A second try for Alberton. This is not according to the form book, but they've got a 2-try lead here over Pirates.
I'm telling you, Alberton is getting on top of this game as quick as you can imagine. I mean, Pirates must have been shell-shocked at the moment. I mean,
Flanker Sean Potgieter.
Sean Potgieter, and actually having the compliments of a job that was well done. Quick tap and go. And surprisingly enough, I think they'll go for first phases. That was beautiful. Pirates not looking up there. Unfortunately, ball watching and obviously leaving one man unattended to. And I think obviously Dylan, one of the guys, was guilty for that. Expecting a pick and go and nothing happens of such, which I was also expecting because I know Alberton love those. And they're clearly here, they've got other plans. And I'm loving to see that they actually can play out of the box, which is very good.
Benny Botha striking that one sweetly for his first successful kick of the afternoon. Conversion to give the visitors a magnificent 12-point lead in the first half. As we see Sean Potgieter going over the line. And acres of space on the blind there. Walk that one over. Divanal will get us restarted. Pirates behind the 8 ball at the moment. Could take Alberton's flanker. Alan Roberts looking to kick it deep. He only gets it about 5 meters into the Pirates' half. Ooh. A little bit high, the contact there with the Pirates scrum off Johan Esterhuizen, but it's Pirates who still have control of the ball. Referee Yurei Botha will call it now, and a yellow card as well. Not a surprise at all, Lawrence.
Yeah, no, that was a lazy hand from Shane Kharmeseis, and unfortunate he got beat by the feet, and obviously that hanging hand almost took off his head with his fingers. Luckily with his fingers, was it was a shoulder or an arm, could have been worse. And obviously now giving Pirates the opportunity now to actually attack. And we spoke about them having a line out in the Alberton is 22, but it's the first line out that they have, and a great opportunity for them, a great setup. Obviously Lindo, I think, has learned some skills in his trade. Looking at that smart move that he pulls there. Obviously after that drag situation, penalties already been given, and Lindo just buying Alberton time in terms of actually fastening his shoes that were not loose in the first place. That's a smart technique there from Alberton. And now obviously give them time to consolidate. And then Solan just watching the hooker, pretending that is coming to him. And if it does go up immediately, might get that ball. Unfortunately, impatient.
Bit of a dummy jump there. It will go to the 8th man. Somewhat against his own expectation. Ruan Kutzer. Esterhuizen gets them going. He's darting for the line. He will get it as well. And Pirates it back. Just what they needed after going down by 12 points in the first 20 minutes of this game.
Yeah, Esterhuizen didn't want to wait for anybody there. He realized if he doesn't get it right, he'll probably get another 10 meters for not being beaten with 10. I mean, I'm talking about Alberton being guilty, having the right thing in mind, trying to do the right thing, just slightly impatient from Brian Sola, the captain of Alberton, because all he had to do was just wait for the hooker. And I don't know if the hooker damaged him with his eyes, because he definitely jumped early. There was a free kick advantage that they were playing under, and obviously the Pirates take advantage of everything that was given to them. And then with this kick as well, with the wind, so you got to have a nice, good curling technique. And from the number 10, Divan Nell, to actually have an opportunity to kick at pole, just to cut down the deficit to only 5 points if we can be able to get this one over.
Should push this ball from left to right. It's in and hoisted. 2 points to the good. And from a 12-0 position, Pirates have fought their way back. It's 12-7. And that man, Divan Nal, absolute BMT player. But just have a look at how Esterhuizen has found the gap where there really was none. Questions got to be asked about the defense of Alberton there.
No, remember now, we actually picked the right guys to run amongst, because the tight forwards were trying to get in position. They had to get back 10, so they were probably not been focused on him. And he took full advantage of that, and it paid off.
Gonna call him Benny Corporal Boetes. Gets us going again. The inside centre for Alberton with a nice deep kick. Good take by the lock of Pirates, Duncan Safi. And, was there contact in the air as he took that ball? Because referee Yurei Botha had no hesitation in putting up the arm and making the whistle heard.
Besides that, I mean, that's very dangerous. When someone goes up in the air, you're not allowed to touch him, because the landing of him landing in the wrong way could be very dangerous, which is very bad for the game. You don't want anyone being stretched over of something that could have been avoided. So that's actually very lucky not also to be given a yellow card, because that's also considered one of the most dangerous things to do when someone is interfere with that if you're not contesting fairly.
And we see the player being taken out in the air. Sheldon Blanche, the skipper of Pirates. Will he find his man? He does. Tough conditions here as Aikman and Kutzer gets them going, but once again, knock on. And a turnover, unforced error. Alan Roberts swings it. Alberton now putting the ball through the phases. Little space on this line on the right-hand side. Expect them to play a little bit of a switch. Nice little kick through there by Tiens van der Merwe. Has that ball been stripped? It has indeed. Referee waves play on. Excellent work there by Quentin du Plessis. But then the ill discipline creeps in again. Stellan Bakos takes the ball to ground. It's made available by Esterhuizen. Little cross kick here. And with that wind blowing in that direction, finds touch perfectly. Game just needs to settle a little bit, you feel?
It's a bit frantic stuff at the moment, and obviously Alberton and by Quentin du Plessis, Dupi, and they call him as and Alberton. And number 2 did a nice turnover here, enabled just to control the situation and calm things down, and they rushed it, and that ended up being turnover available by Pirates, and by obviously the Dylan taking it up and getting advantage, a penalty for offside from Albert, because they were not ready from that previous one, and obviously now have to push back and get back there, and then obviously Pirates now have to defend this one and see if Brand Sola has got some trick up his sleeve to give his backside decent ball to play with.
Again, not the cleanest ball in the world, but Sola does well to give Alberton the possession. Just feel there must have been a knock-on in there somewhere.
No, the ref did see that. I think it was a rep, considered as a rep, which is not considered as a knock. Unfortunately, Pirates unable to secure that, but they do have it now in hand.
Kick gone straight up. And taken by the left wing, and oh my goodness, railroaded. But it's still Pirates' ball. The exit strategy is just to run it. Isolated now is Mukendi. Somehow they still have possession of this ball, Lawrence. And now Divanal, will he clean up? No, he lets go as well. Lovely break, lovely, fantastic little break by Pirates. They've taken this ball a good 20 meters up. Was that off their hands? Was it another knock-on? Referee says play on. Now Sheldon Williamson, he is being masked by his opposite number. But he'll just steady the ship and kick a good touch finder. That will stabilize things. My goodness. Seesaw Marjorie Dorr.
I'm telling you, my man, obviously that one, and really unable to hold it, going down into contact and tackle, got ripped out of his hand, lost the ball, and Alberton getting out of jail card there. Obviously the old man, that fullback, doing a good grabber ball downfield, and now to actually create that line out in the middle of the field. And obviously a few Alberton guys that have got some issues, and then one of them, the thoroughbred on that side, I think his hem is cramping up. I don't know from what, because he hasn't had a ball since his trial time. But then obviously something must have happened that we're probably not aware of.
It's the wind. It's getting into the hamstrings. It's making things cold.
The wind must be very difficult. And obviously, obviously nothing serious. I don't think it is. But obviously, I think the referee is not going to wait for him. So he needs to get up very quickly. The game is not waiting for... Oh, God, Sam.
Awful throw. Quentin du Plessis. It is really tough conditions out there for the hookers. That's more of what Pirates want. They just want to control the phases. A lovely rumbling run there by, was it Dylan Bakos? Now it's swung out wide. Ilunga Mukendi. Unfortunately for Pirates, the opportunity was there.
I think Muket was more interested in his good step, and he didn't have the ball in his hand before good did. Unfortunate, but I think he was covered though. And he also knew there were two guys coming on the inside of him. And I don't think it was one thing that was favorable. Obviously, that's why he came with a trick before they started.
Told you, it's the curse of the peripheral vision. Rugby players should just have tunnel vision, not worry about the contact that may come. And unfortunately for Ilunga Mukendi, he was just a bit worried about the players closing in on him. Should have just done the fundamentals and grabbed that ball.
I think guys who are allowed to have tunnel vision and rugby should ball 1, 2, and 3 at this point in time as well. If they can do it nicely, run over each other, if it's even better.
Spoken like a true forward. I've been looking forward to the scrums between these two sides ever since we knew we were going to do this match, Lawrence, because yes, difference in class in terms of progress in the competition, but this is where I think the equalizer is. Good possession there by Alberton. It's a little switch outside to the outside centre. Willem Base will get a lovely touch finder. There was space on the outside, but credit to him for that kick.
Considering where they are, I think that was certainly a good purchase on returns, and obviously must thankful to the platform Alberton has put down. But obviously they're not waiting for anyone as a center.
Sipho Mahlala, what are you doing? It was a quick little take from the line out.
Yeah, no, actually he realizes as well. But that's heads up rugby, because he realizes the line out is a bit of a challenge. But I don't understand as well.
By the way, was it Sipho you told before the game that he looks more mean without the scrum cap?
Yeah, I think if he's got anything to go by, if he takes off that scrum cap, I think his opposition would look towards it like, I think I'm playing against a prop here. But it's actually a good center, very powerful, very staunch built, very good. But they haven't had an opportunity to run with ball in hand here. And then Alberton actually playing the tricks of the trade. That's not a bad thing necessarily, because that's one thing that the ref cannot go without. Line out of scrums. And obviously he's not I don't think he's injured. The tighted prop just came back from a good scrummaging. Or Lindo Dladla came a good platform that actually, funny enough, in that platform I could realize he had a right shoulder that he got, and obviously by scrumming in, very good sound technique, only using one leg, because I could realize not both was not scrumming from his hip. Technically it's something I probably would give him grief over, but he got away with it, and which means that's guilty person allowing him to do so in Dylan. But obviously now that tactic as well, buying some time so they can sort him out and obviously plan what they do on the next line out. They've realized the middle ball they can get, but they need to check the wind before they do. And the back ball is a definitely no-no unless they do it now, but Lindo's taken that time. And obviously Thorn, remember he also said earlier, I don't know if he was coming for the magic eyes or coming have a conversation to buy time. Keep
that man, Francois Lowe, coach of Alberton, was telling me this week that Lindo Dladla reminds him most of all the players he's ever seen of the man sitting right next to me, Lawrence Sepaka. But he did say that you perhaps had a much superior work ethic compared to the tight head at Alberton.
But I'm telling you as well, like I said, and he actually knows talent, but obviously he's working with the men as well. Hopefully he can push him higher and higher, push him harder, because now he's going back into it again. Scrumming situation where it's Alberton's feet as well, eh? So it's very important that Lindo now needs to stand up. So he's got a magic water, magic ice in the right places. Now he needs to make sure a right shoulder would give Alberton an excellent platform to play from here. They've got the whole right field open up for them to actually take.
Yeah, both and Alberton props
they've got one man left as well.
Yeah, both Alberton props have been able to turn the opposite men inwards in the scrums, and that's where the penalties have come from thus far. Can they do it again?
If he can copy and paste the previous technique, he actually might get it right. That's Dylan also not give him that inside shoulder, which actually gives him a bit of pressure, because now if he doesn't put pressure on him, he might actually just get that right shoulder.
Quick little hook out. It's the 8th man who will take it up. Fani Fries cleans up the ball. Alan Roberts, the scrum half, plays it. Nice few meters gained. Alberton. Ryan Sola over it. Lovely feed from Tiens van der Merwe. Benny Bottas over the ball. He's protected that ball well. He's given his scrum off the opportunity to get in there, but straight into the basket and out the basket. Now Pirates, once again, the exit strategy is to run the ball. Playing with the advantage, of course. Big boot upfield by Divan now. It's running towards the byline. And it will get there as well. Really good ground made. This man Divan now, a big match temperament player. Go to their social media, Lawrence. I tell you what, he's won a couple of games for them in the very last minute of matches as Divan now. Really good kick from him there as well.
Ja, nee, Alberton gaan bietjie geleentheid kry om weer 'n lyn staan in te gooi. Ek dink is op hulle 22. 'n Brandsola moet eintlik seker maak dat hy net 'n frontbal vang and actually net 'n bal voorvat. And obviously, if I was close to him, I would have told him Brandsola kawuthatha la ball number 2 when the show ukuthi aka jump, and we don't have to jump to number 2, just have to like eye contact lapha ne. Besides, I mean, the lama ball we fumana for number 2. The way the height where you can actually stand and take them, you know. And
Khumalo bietjie van die veld af, kry bietjie behandeling. Hy's buite die sig van ons kameras, maar hy's reg hier op ons kommentaarposisie. Die man, die vleuel natuurlik, linkervleuel vir Alberton wat die eerste punt in die wedstryd aangeteken het, terwyl ons wag vir die lyn staan. Jy praat nou al heeldag met Alberton om te sê, "Vyf kom net daar voor in die lyn staan." Laat hulle ten minste kan sien daar is iemand sigbaar in hulle gesigte. Hulle gaan heel agtertoe. Sien nommer 7. Fantasties die bal vat vir Alberton en hulle het nou goeie possessie. Aaron Roberts laat loop weer hier by die linkerkant se lyn af. Goeie ondersteuning. En is weer eens Shaun Potgieter. Hy het al reeds gedruk. Hy kry die bal weg. Ag nee, die man wat op die veld is vir linkerveld, Thorn Khumalo, wat net nie die bal kan raakvat nie. Goeie werk deur Shaun Potgieter.
Baron Foster, 'n baie talentvolle laaitjie op die linkerveld wat ingekom van Tonna wat eintlik by die kant van die veld staan. Ongelukkig, hy was so excited dat hy die bal gegryp het en plek net die bal vat en uitval. Niemand voor hom nie. Unfortunate. I mean, he's got a lot of gaps as well.
Letterlik.
We're talking about Thorn being a thoroughbred. He's got rugby pace. And unfortunately, his hands were still stuck in his pocket, and he decided to smash and grab that ball.
Kyk net die pragtige loop hier deur Potgieter. Hy soek die ondersteuning, hy kry die ondersteuning, maar is Byron van Onselen wat letterlik vir 'n minuut op die veld was, wat die bal verbrou, die kans verbrou.
How wonderful would that be? You step on and you're making your mark already. I think the coach might have decided to keep Thorn off just because what you've shown. Now he's making the coach question his decision. Hey, hope Thorn is okay. But obviously Thorn being on the side as well, I hope it's not too serious because it's something not physical to do. And I think he's got to do maybe having some dizziness or something wrong, a bit of concussion. But we'll probably find out what's wrong with him. But they're still busy with him at the moment, checking him. And then obviously I think it's got to do with concussion as well. But hopefully he's okay.
Now I'm seeing just on the Alberton side, Baron Foster, utility back is on his feet as well. At the moment, no need for him to come on. Thorn Khumalo looks like he is out of the equation. So Byron van Onselen, who had the opportunity but just couldn't convert. He's in place of the left winger now.
Yeah, no, listen, unfortunately. And then I think he just had a quick overlook to Thorn. He walked just right past us. He said he's struggling to breathe. I hope it's not something serious because we are dealing with times of COVID. I think that's nothing to do with that. And obviously, he's probably just got a bit of a breath, maybe a bit of shot in the chest, but making him struggle. But that's serious for someone not to be able to breathe with a beautiful day like this. I hope it's okay.
Good feed, good scrum now by Pirates. Good pace for them. A little bit of an errant pass. But Mohlala lays off a bit of a hospital pass. Got to be careful how he puts his opposite number down there.
I think a penalty is from the scrum. Unfortunately, we didn't have to see that. But with the rush in the head, they're talking about blood in the in terms of a high pressure situation. You got to have ice in the head fire in the belly, not upside down. When you get it upside down, will get you definitely in trouble.
What is with the magic ice and Lawrence Opaka today? Looks like a good touch finder by Divan now. He'll drive Alberton deep back into their own half. They needed that one. Let's have a look at this play again. So Sipho Mohlala let the ball go very quickly, and then a nasty tackle there by right winger Shane Germeshuis. Thankfully, he was still in control of the man, otherwise there could have been more than a penalty awarded there.
I think Sipho Mohlala also had a hand in there because he made sure it doesn't land on the shoulder and his head. We definitely saved the yellow card for Alberton there. Good shot on him, heads up Rugby, making sure keeping his own players safe as well.
Lovely crowded Pirates here today. We are allowed under lockdown level 1 adjusted risk strategy to have 2,000 people at outdoor events, and the crowd in Johannesburg certainly making hay with the opportunity. That certainly was not straight. Bit of a banana delivery there, and a lovely outswinger.
Well, I don't understand that, because it was not to his advantage, because it was actually giving it to Alberton. Unfortunately, Alberton able to capitalize on it, but he still had to go fetch it. And then bottom line, it was not straight. If the law book says you gotta keep it straight like a ruler, and that was definitely not from a ruler standards. So the Alberton have an opportunity there to either take a scrum or take a line out of Dupi, Duplessis, formerly known nickname Dupi. That's why I'm stuck on Dupi.
Dupi goes shallow. Sola goes up. Needed to get possession there, but it's come forward off his hands. So there should be advantage to Pirates as they run it out onto the left wing. Ilunga Mukendi looking to make good on that earlier mistake of his. He saw the field opening up, but unfortunately, that pass was adjudged to have been forward.
I think Mukendi is unfortunate, because the problem might have been even the pass before him. That one was suspected. By the time he got it, the Rebels already made up his mind.
At least pretend to get the hands going backwards. Unfortunately, we can't blame that one on the wind, though.
No, definitely in the wind. Has got no hand in there. And we're back to Alberton. And obviously, Alberton supporters, I don't know if they're watching the same game, but they seem to be very juvenile and very happy, mixing up very nicely with the Pirate supporters, supporting the boys, and actually make sure they're enjoying the game as well.
Yeah, if you're seeing frowns in the crowd, it's obviously the Pirate supporters. They would have expected to be up in this game already by virtue of the form they've shown in the competition. Lovely shove by Pirates, but the ball is out. And the scrum off of Alberton. Alan Roberts takes the contact there, but get the ball back. Another hospital pass, I'm afraid. And Tiens van der Merwe decides, you know what, let's just clean this up. Looks for the touch finder, but fails. As Jared Branco now gets his fullback, Sheldon Williamson, going. And lovely run up the field. And on the opposite wing, Pirates have good possession again. There's a little bit of an overlap. Mukendi has the opportunity, but he steps on the inside and runs, I'm afraid, a bit laterally. And tightening up could have perhaps have given them more space on that line. The arm still up by referee Yurei Botha.
Yeah, he's telling them they've got two advantages. There was a prior penalty as well before they got to that position. And obviously that's a sign of a wing that doesn't have confidence. He cuts back in too soon, and it looks like a Thelevert. It looked like a guy who's quick, but he doesn't back himself and taking him in his man. That old school in and out. So obviously there's two penalties. The one that was right in front of the poles in front, and obviously either the knock or the penalty. And they decided to take scrum because I think they also need their confidence back.
Just have a look there. The pass was a little bit behind Mukendi, so perhaps that is a bit of an excuse, but he's a vastly experienced man, used to be in the SA7 setup and hails from the Sharks Academy as well. So you'd expect if he's got half a gap, he's going to go for it.
Now, the problem as well, I think he might have seen as well what was waiting for him in front of him in the shape of Potgieter there, which was actually dropping a shoulder already. Like, I'm not coming into that. And I'll take a shot left. come back into where my support is, which actually got them a penalty. But he also ran to another dangerous man in Alberton club in terms of defense. Du Plessis has been a thorn in the Pirates team at the moment. He's actually been in everything as a hooker. He's got the engine of a flanker as well, so you got to understand that no one talk about a hooker being an extra flanker. He's actually the opposite at this point in time. He's a flanker playing at hooker, and he's adding a lot of value to Alberton.
Scrum in a very good position for Pirates with seconds ticking down to the end of the first half. They slap bang in the middle of the field in front of the poles. And referee Boeta just having a word now with Dylan Bakos and your man Lindo Tladla, who's all smiles about it. It's been a great contest between the two of them at scrum time. But Pirates with a great position. They've peeled men, 3 on either side. The fullback standing in the pocket in the form of Sheldon Williamson. They can go either way if they get clean possession from this feed to the scrum.
If you didn't know, Lindo, Udo, when a prop scrum just before scrum, that's a sign of confidence that is having a good day at the office. And obviously, let's see how a good day he's having by putting pressure on Pirates.
Start to go shallow and to the right. Sheldon Williamson with a carry, but I'm afraid he was the victim of a massive hit there. Really dogged defense by Alberton. They know their line is under threat. They know they're in the lead. And they know they're up against the form side. Bakos looking to get through there, but there's no way through. Brian Sola with good defense. And now the man in the pocket, Ivanal, he turns around. And I'm afraid, I think that may have just missed on the outside of the right upright, Lawrence. I have to look at it again.
I was certainly put a man on it. That was right between the poles, but unfortunately, the man in the middle, he definitely missed it far to the right and actually looked good for all money. Unfortunately, Pirates coming back with no points as well, being in the 22 of Alberton. That must be credit to Alberton at the moment. I mean, this is a team that came in as underdogs here, but they certainly showing us something we certainly didn't expect, and they're actually all smiles to show that they're actually enjoying themselves on the field as well. So Pirates really need to make a plan and actually need to re-strategize, change their ways, and come back after this drop-in.
Jens van der Merwe with a dropout, 22 dropout, and it's deep into the half of Pirates. Duncan Dalport with a good carry. Good support there for him as well. Van Esterhuizen looking for close in support. He'll find it as well in the form of his lock. And Dylan Bakos gets the pass away. Now carried superbly by the flanker. Johan Reinicke there with some good possession. Divanal now swings it out to the fullback who's joined the line. Sheldon Williamson and Mukendi. Confusion between the two of them. Alberton on the front foot now. They get it going. And Jens van der Merwe kicking the ball straight down the field. Not quite sure what the intention was there. It's bobbing around. Mukendi will do the cleaning up at the back, but a golden opportunity for Alberton gone a-begging, and that's how we get to the end of the first half as well, with that kick by Jens van der Merwe. That man in shot, Ilunga Mukendi, had ample opportunity out wide for Pirates, but it's the form team trailing 12-7. One for the record books here today, as Alberton have travelled from the far east of Johannesburg and are running amok in the city centre of Joburg. 7-12. Pirates, the home team, are down at the break.
Now, I'm telling you, Udo, man, looking at those stats as well, I mean, there's nothing in between these two teams. I mean, you're talking about guys coming from the Far East to come make a mark, and they look good doing it as well. And obviously, what's impressing is Mel as well, the amount of missed tackles. I mean, Alberton, I've known them that when it comes to physical encounters and defense, sometimes they fall short, but today they're showing something I've never seen. Something a team that's up to making amends. I mean, look at those tackles made. 18 and they only missed 3, 24 missed 13. So the favorite team at the moment, and actually they've been put under the cosh. And Alberton obviously making more tackles, but also missing in more tackles. But they made in setting tackles. It's actually impressive. Look at those racks, 18 mauls, not whatsoever. It means it's open rugby. It's sort of champagne rugby that we expected. But they've lost their thoroughbred. But obviously that last kick also must have been the captain of number 10, Thies, thought he still not having someone with gas, but unfortunately no one was chasing, and obviously Pirates unable to clean that as well.
All right, we'll go to the break with the home team. Pirates down 7-12 to the visitors, Lifestyle Alberton Rugby Club.
We blame the guys behind us. I'll throw a 3. Zulu, Xhosa, and Afrikaans. Messes.
Only if Pirates win.
Means
They don't, the
Alberton
board
guys
is
will
closing.
stay.
If they don't, the board is closing at 8 o'clock tonight. Calderes Interchange closed.
When you bend you, I'm sitting on the edge. I just collapse on my studio.
Welcome back. Of course, the halftime score is Alberton 12, Pirates 7. And pretty much against the form book here, it is the visitors from the East Rand, Lawrence Zapaka, who lead at the break.
Yeah, no, listen, this was Pirates in total control and real, unfortunately, knocks on. And obviously, Alberton on pounds there. And there's a presence of minds from the Albertanians. I mean, a credit to the scrum half of the young scrum half, Ellen, who actually had the presence of minds to make sure I've got a thoroughbred on my left. Let me give him enough time to do his thing, which he did. Unfortunately, he's not on the field now. I think he must have issues with some breathing after that run. I don't know. I hope nothing is serious. But unfortunately, he's been replaced. But now, obviously, that was a beautiful try. That's exactly what you do with a turnover ball. There's no defenses in place. Pirates was in 6 and 7s because they were getting ready for the next phase, and Alberton had other ideas.
Now, Benny Bort has missed the conversion from that play. As we see just that try being scored again. Wonderful work by Alan Roberts, who opened up the field quite literally for Thorn Kumalu. And once he saw the gap, there was going to be no stopping him, and ran in a beautiful try for the first points and also the first 5 points, the first try of this match. And that was a bit of a surprise. Second try here coming the way of Alberton, and it was Sean Potgieter who found himself wide open on the blind.
Now Lesseton has presence of mind when he realized Lundo took on the 2 guys to take him down, and the third one tried to do a counter-rack, with left Potgieterle actually free to just walk over, which she does.
And then the comeback try scored by the scrum off of Pirates, Johan Estres, and he's had a good first half. Found the gap there, but mismatched with the speed of the pivot against the loose forwards of Alberton, and he dotted down for a 5-pointer. That was converted by Divan Nal. The halftime score, 12-7 in favor of the visitors. We're ready for kickoff, just waiting for the whistle of Yurei Botha. And it is Benny Botha, so we'll get them going. The slight advantage of the wind now in favor, one would think, of Pirates.
Yeah, it's actually very kick-off there from Alberton, a hanging ball, giving Alberton the chance to actually have a go at that ball, which they did. Unfortunately, knocked it on, and Pirates subsequently knocked it on as well. For the very first time in the match, within the first minute, Cesia scrammer foot Fontaine, and this chapter thinks the Tanduk scrammer too much, man, which I don't mind, because we get to dissect. Bafana kanjani ulindo ngaphaya ngoku usifihlile, so now we have to watch and reel, and it's opposite on this side in Damien to see what they're on about today, because we've been watching Lindo and actually dissecting with Dylan. Now it's in the hand reel side, having to see what he does now with his technique wise. Nicely said, just waiting, but there's no hip movement, with something I would have grilled him for.
Scrums have been a feast for the eyes. It's Pirates looking to go wide with a bit of a decoy run, and it's all a mess as I'm afraid that's not going to work. Mukendi on his opposite wing just cannot put a foot right this afternoon.
The one opportunity to Tatum Takamtat, now Puma out of the field, and unfortunately in line we say Winnie Lepa. So Alberton have an opportunity now to just throw in right inside between the 22 and the 40-meter line. Great opportunity. They opt to go for a 6-man line out, which for me sometimes gives an opportunity to opposition to create two defending pods. It's a 5-man with 1 man outside. So if they're smart about it, they can only choose one side, to go middle or to go the back, which they go the back. Beautiful take.
Nah, it's a good base for a drive.
Poorly set up though.
The 5, is he on the wrong side of things? Botha, if we're happy with it as it stands, but control by Alberton and now stripped away. Pirates have the possession. There's a turnover for you. And now, Botha will get his arm up, and it's Johan Esterhazen making meters up the field here. Try scorer in the first half for Pirates, makes a good 40 meters here. And the support is there to keep the move going. Johan Reinicke takes it up a further 10. And now Esterhazen swings it out wide. Divan Nal will give and go, but I'm afraid that's where the handling error comes in. But it's still advantage Pirates. Of Yurei Botha is up. Is that for offside or
no, Alberton number 12 away? Guilty for not rolling away. Benny Botha was very slow to roll away there.
Benny Corporal Botha.
A popular policeman of Karakan van die veld.
So hier 'n guldige geleentheid vir Pirates om weer terug te kom in hierdie wedstryd. Dis 'n wedstryd wat hulle gehoop het hulle sou verspot maklik wen met die vorm wat hulle in is hierdie seisoen in die Memorial Cup. 2 onlangse verliese teen Pikke en Wits. En die res van die spanne in hierdie liga is hulle van die boebase. Maar is Alberton wat huidiglik 12-7 voor is. As ons kyk na Duncan Safi wat 'n bietjie behandeling kry.
Die Alberton inkonkoza phambili kodwa andiyithandi le nto baqala ngo-reverse gear, ngoko kumele bephushele phambili, kumele bathanda i-energy kulezi point ezabanazo, benze sure ukuthi babeke i-Pirates kula pressure cooker babembambe ku in the first half, kodwa kangoku kumele badefende la lana out kwi-5 meter line.
Hy gaan vlak hier. Sheldon ter Blanche met hy voer in die lyn staan en hulle begin nou dryf na die lyn toe en daar is die tweede 3 vir Pirates. 5 punte op die tellbord. Dit sal beteken dat die telling gelyk op is. 12-12.
I think captain fantastic.
Like Sheldon Terblanche met self klaar gemaakt met sy eie voet.
Through in and obviously controlling at the back. He had to make sure he just stays safe there.
Hom perfek gegooi om weer eens die ondersteuning te verleen aan sy span. En hy dryfwerk wat die bal oor die doellyn vat. Hy sal baie gelukkig wees, hy man. Sheldon Terblanche, die kaptein van Pirates. Die van nou, hy soog om nog 2 punte by te sit.
Yeah, and I think Pirates, I think their juice at halftime must have actually sunk in nicely because they came in nice and controlled things at the point. Obviously talking about that nip in number 9. It's been actually a problem for Alberton because he actually takes advantage of that offside thing because they know they're obviously trying to show some discipline. But I think someone needs to just break rank and break the rules because that's causing them, because he got about 40 meters.
Yeah, the flags are raised, 2 points up. And Pirates, for the first time in the match, will take the lead. They're up 14-12, just what the home crowd wanted, with just 4 minutes played in the second half. Tell you what, Mark Ford, the coach of Pirates, he doesn't look like a man who gives you the hairdryer treatment, but he must have said something in the half to inspire his side.
Yeah, no, listen, I think when you came in as a favorite and you're actually behind at halftime, you need to really just not panic, but just go back to the drawing board and look what you're doing wrong. They were trying to be extravagant, taking advantage of thinking Alberton is a bit of a weaker side. And then what happened, Alberton showed up, and they were actually forced now to go back and do the basics correctly.
Benny Boetas with a nice hanging kick again. Pirates have possession. Through Duncan Safi, who received some treatment, and now the boys are walking it up the field. Walking to the front of the buffet line. What's going on here, Lawrence Apaka?
Listen, I think Alberton, I don't know what's happening, but I need to actually start doing what they were doing in the first half. They need to actually keep the game loose, because as tight as it becomes actually difficult for Pirates to control them. What a hit.
Now with a good probing kick there, but it was returned by some meters by Alberton. And the man newly on the field, Byron van Onselen, at possession, give and go with Anton Vlok, but he set foot outside the field. So it will be a line out in favor of Pirates. Got to say, that wind that has been blowing all afternoon seems to just have been dying down over the last few minutes, which will make the line outs a little bit easier. But as we see, good cover defense there as Vlok gets taken out.
Uncharacteristic from Vlok was, I know he's got a boot on him as well, and he's a lefty. I would have thought of a chip and chase there, being one-on-one, obviously no one behind the defender. And obviously they're not happening. He tried to take on his man directly, and he actually came second best in the line one.
And you're a hard taskmaster. He had a split second there to get that ball onto the foot and away. Let's see if Pirates can retain possession here. Sheldon Terblanche on the other side of the field had a line out that led to a try. To find his jumpers again. Josh Morse, Duncan Safi. Big lock jumpers. And it goes to the back, and I'm afraid miscommunication there as Alberton steal that one away.
No, he's not. Hey.
Sola will take it to ground after that somewhat high pass. No real space here. But Alberton carry beautifully. Have they kept it alive? Has that gone forward? Referee looks to be playing advantage in favor of Alberton. Perhaps that's the reason why there was such carefree abandon in the way that ball was being thrown about.
Yeah, and Alberton has got an opportunity there to actually go ahead as well, because they've got a kickable ball in front of the poles. I'm sure Brian Sola wouldn't think twice about it. That was a beautiful. I mean, they're actually very good with open play, and obviously they're interfering with the men unable to play that, and that was a penalty coming from Alberton. Has actually very impressed me when it comes to open rugby. Their skill level seems to have improved. I really enjoy how they actually go about when they go about it, and obviously the White Fox, and Silver Fox they call him, number 10 of Alberton, taking off and giving the youngster, which has actually got some serious gas as well. Coming in, number 21 is going to replace number 10, which is just waiting for the kick to happen. He's also seemed to be complaining about some niggle, and obviously being at that age, running with youngsters has got his downfalls as well.
I'm afraid Benny Botha's kick at poles is missed. 3-point to Ghana begging, with the split between the two sides, just 2 points. It was an important kick indeed. Couple of changes, yeah. Yeah, but Alan Roberts off for Tiens van der Merwe. In fact, no, that can't be correct because the fly-off is still on the field. So is the starting scrum off for Alan Roberts. Lovely take in the middle of the field. Stole Pirates with a possession. They want to put it through the phases. They want to run the clock down here and pound Alberton with phase after phase. Backers cleans up nicely. Yesterday's in the busiest man on the park this afternoon. Gets inside going. Referee calling a knock on there. Thought they had an opportunity of going against the run.
Baron Foster is the number 21 from Alberton that replaced the number 10 at fly-off, and actually just got on, and it's just a bit of a change there which we actually had to rectify. And obviously got some news on Thorn as well, is that he actually think it's just his blood sugar. I think he didn't get his energy drinks and his carbohydrates before the game, so he's came. That's captain from Pirates, Kelton Sheldon Ter Blanche, was limping off. I think he's got a bit of a lummy,
old-fashioned lummy, that one.
2.
And it's Blaise Felix, penciled in at 20, coming in. Except I can tell you now that it's not Blaise Felix, it's coming onto the field. Okay, so a slew of changes here to be expected with amateur club rugby. I did say that there is a tendency sometimes for the taps to open up fully and then all of a sudden it just runs dry as far as energy is concerned. And we seem to have hit that mark at the 50-minute mark in this game, Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, obviously they need to recalibrate the engines and make sure they refuel, because obviously wholesale changes here, obviously by Pirates, and the fullback being replaced there by number 23 from Pirates side, coming on Devon at fullback, and obviously the number 6 flanker Johan Reneker being replaced by number 20 Riesville, who's coming in at flanker, and obviously trying to put in some reinforcements and get some energy, which actually gives them a negative effect, because they just got a bad scrum from Alberton there, and Alberton must have recharged their battery squad correctly. They've also got a wholesale changes from their side as well. I mean, they've got a number 21 who's come on. Brian Osland, obviously, we know we've replaced Thorn earlier in the game. So, obviously, the things that need to stabilize a bit. But there isn't much in the pack that has changed. And obviously, number 22 as well, from Alberton's side, that has actually come on. Baron Foster has replaced number 21. Brian Sola then being jubilant after that massive scrum that has actually put onto Pirates. I think Henry must have been an integral part of Pirates scrumming fraternity, because since he's left, it's really been terrible from Pirates side, and Alberton is getting on top of them again. And obviously the confidence seemed to pick up subsequently as well. So hopefully that things are going to change. If they think they've got that in the scrum and they've got a devastating backline, and you can put the two together. I mean, obviously Dylan is not a tight head. It's very clear from that scrum as well. He's moved over to the right-hand side from the loose side, made way for the replacement to come in at loose head. And obviously Alberton not forgetting opportunity to remind him as well.
Quite literally rubbing your face in it. No love lost. Poor Dylan Buckers had to just kind of soak it up. Take it on the chin.
Let's move it on.
Dupi now needs to be clinical with the throw-ins. Quentin Duplessis, will he find his man? Scrambled by Pirates. But it's gone back, and Alberton breaking through. Sean Potgieter has had a storming game, the flanker for Alberton. He's had an absolute blinder, just unfortunately going down there. Knocked that ball on, so it will be advantage, or rather possession, to Alberton.
Yeah, listen, I don't think Alberton would mind that at all, but the things are looking now that tells it up when it comes to scrum. And obviously the man who knocked on the ball must have fallen very badly. He seemed very uncomfortable, and obviously the game can't go on because he's at a place where the scrum needs to take place. And obviously the ref needs to give the medic opportunity as well.
How
and
good is it?
The vibe is
How
picked up.
good is it to see this crowds back in the stands as we head into a golden summer? It's a beautiful thing to see.
I'm telling you, an unfortunate part though, I think we're not really complying, because we need to make sure it stays safe, because we are living in a different time. We live in difficult times. Those masks need to be part of our celebrations. And obviously the supporters jubiled. I'm assuming that Alberton supporters, because they're probably coming to support their spouses and their families. Now they seem to things have looked on for the better, and they're looking good. And Alberton is actually looking the part as well, coming like gracious visitors to Pirates Rugby Club. And hopefully that doesn't come as a sort of a threat to Pirates, but as a challenge to stand up and be counted.
And you only remain respectful to your hosts as long as the braai is underway. Once the music starts, it's my house.
Yeah, no. The Pirates have been gracious hosts at the moment, allowing Alberton to do as they please.
Much more settled phase of the game now, as the energy levels have been sapped by the first 50. And this time the penalty from the scrum going against Pirates.
Yeah, no, Pirates got away with that one because Alberton was just slightly impatient, because they needed to get through Dylan, not go around him. They were swimming. That's a colder term, swimming around him. They actually needed to make sure that they continue that pressure, apply the pressure directly on him. He can't handle it. But as soon as you start walking around him, and then you're actually now making it easy for him, because a loose head needs to get under the prop, not around him.
It's Divanal who takes it from East 22 to the 10-meter line of Alberton. Stefan Sheldon to Blanche, rather. Of course, has been replaced. And it's Dylan Rigney who's now doing the hooking duties, coming from that flag position earlier.
No, usually I think it's good, because that's actually a tight hit that comes in, and then Lyndon is having a well-deserved break. Is done well. Impressive. Pirates unable to control their own line out, and Alberton looking absolutely good with that ball in hand. And obviously the young man Allen is controlled the proceedings very nicely.
Alberton playing netball with that one again. Such a tight game. And this to me has been the highlight of the day. It's been an absolute feast for the eyes, just how these two packs have scrummed down against one another. There have been penalties either way from these engagements. And you could say that the Alberton bomb squad is on the field with the replacement of the likes of Lindo Tlatla. And the crowd know that they're in for something special here. The underdogs now trailing by just 2 points. It is a Pirates feed. And off the back of that scrum, Jan Reinicke who makes some meters. Johan Esterhuizen keeps them going. Dylan Bakos barging his way through for a few more meters. They're eking out the space here. Divanal will get it going. Beautiful delivery then. Now Mukendi has an opportunity. Absolutely breezes past these men and will make it all the way to the try line. The former Sharks Academy, former SA Sevens player, dots down under the poles for a beautiful try. We were wondering where this lightning skill set was in the first half. And if you did not lay your eyes on this try live, feast your eyes on the replay, because he had the defense of Alberton absolutely flat-footed. Just have a look at this, Lawrence Zapaka. You'll love it. Divanal gets them going. And then in the half gap, and Mukendi's away.
Yeah, no, he's come alive. It's taken him a good, 50, 60 minutes to get that. But he maybe wanted the bigger gaps to take place so that he can actually show his magic. And he didn't even beat on the outside. He actually misfooted him and actually made sure it does his thing. And obviously we can see why everyone was revving up about him. And that was a beautiful try for Muketi. Well, long awaited.
Takes Pirates 19-12 ahead. Factor 21 with that conversion. So now there's daylight between the two sides. Alberton, having had the ascendancy in the first half, they'll be a worried side, but they've got fresh blood on the field. Just have a look at this again. Joined the line at the perfect time and then leaves his opposite number absolutely flat-footed. There was simply no prize for poor Anton Vlok as he stood and faced Mukendi. That's all of 23 years old playing all of 38 years old.
Yeah, now you take advantage of old people. That were very nice. But well done to the young man. We've been waiting for this for a long time. And it's good time that he showed up.
Pirates again, and Mukendi's found himself some work at the breakdown. He carries a good 10. Lovely little kick into the pocket, in behind the defense of Alberton. But good work by Anton Vlok, and this time gets the ball onto the foot. Sipho will clean up. And it's Blaise Felix who is looking to get them going. Tumi Make on the field for Johan Esterhuizen. The replacement scrum half. He's looking to make an impact here. His penalty Pirates way.
I think Alberton, they're guilty for diving over a man on the ground. Only the old man needed to find out the fullback, needed to be patient, just go over the ball and pick it up. As Pirates didn't have cleaners, they decided to dive over and give him a silly penalty. Unfortunately, that gives the ball and the possession back to Pirates, with their confidence picking up, currently being just leading on the scoreboard 21-12. They've got a nice lucrative line out just inside the 22, where they've got a great opportunity to just take a nice line out and actually a great setup, which they've shown their drives are actually superior. But now they've taken a short line out. Usually it will be seen as a line out that's going to be very quick in and out, but you'll be surprised that the guys decide to drive it because it's a short line out. A lot of guys have opted to take these ones because it's easier to drive.
You lock pairing there of Clayton Martin and Sean Otto on the field, and they get clean possession. Flanky when Reinicke bursts his way through, he gets the support. It's Make, gets them going. Even Null joining the line. Just meters away now, needs to be clean. Mohlala will tidy things up and reset the clock on this attack. Tumi Make, he goes on the blind and feeds Mukendi, who's found some work inside the field. It's wonderful work by Dylan Bakos, who's bumping players off him. Goes out wide again. Devin Brown has been on the field for 10 minutes. He cleans it up, and Mukendi feeds the ball inside again. He gets it out wide. Little cross kick. Is it there? Oh my goodness.
They're the right play, unfortunately the wrong number.
Dylan
there's a
Rigney, I'm
penalty on the
afraid.
other side.
He had the opportunity, just could not reach out and control that ball. But a masterful little attempt at that cross kick.
Everything was done to the tee by the flag. Unfortunately, the player receiving, he didn't have the skills, nor the speed to get under that ball and actually collect. That was a try for all money. And obviously, the young man, Dylan Rigney, they're unable to actually do that. And actually unfortunate because, I mean, Fleckers played there in that position those days. And there's a reason why he was there. And there's a reason why they spotted him. Unfortunately, it was a let-off for Alberton there. But they're not out of jail yet. Pirates have got other ideas.
Try line of Alberton still under threat, but it seems that they're this one away. It is a turnover, but dangerous play. You're flirting with disaster in your own in-goal area. What is the old man doing, Anton Vlok? Plays in the SA Legends team. So he's got a cool head, but that was more than just a cool head. In fact, it was Shane Germeshuis flirting with danger there.
You'll be forgiven to thinking they're the same people, but the same structure, same build. One is younger, one is older, but they actually do the same thing. They actually can run all day. They can run from everywhere. But they've got lots of energy for old people, that I must say. But Alberton now needs to defend this.
Can't just call them old people, Lawrence.
They're playing against young people, so how can you say that?
Line out drive by Pirates.
Anyway.
They've got control of this one. Alberton, I'm afraid, are peeling off, and there we go. They burst through, and that should be a touchdown. The man who just missed the try from the cross kick a minute ago is the scorer. Dylan Rigney will get over the line.
No, certainly he made amends not very shortly after the blunder, so all is forgiven. He's actually redeemed himself very well. And obviously, suppose in his favorable position from the forward point of view, that's where he was supposed to be. Well done to them. And obviously, they're taking full control of this game now. And they've realized as well, they don't need to be fancy. Because Alberton clearly in the open rugby, something that's very positive for their point of view. They're able to actually let the ball get some wind, and they're doing it correctly as well. But now Pirates need to play to their strength. Their strength is their physicality, which they need to actually control. And Alberton actually forces Alberton to submission. And actually that they're doing it right now, because the open game is definitely not Pirates' game. And actually credit to both coaches, they paid respect to that, alluded to those positions that Alberton is dangerous out wide. And actually both coaches recognize that. It means they know their weaknesses and their strengths. But obviously Alberton here seems to be going away back and forth in terms of that scoreboard, and then it's running away from them because of it. Pirates have decided to do what works for them, not try to actually compete with Alberton, what Alberton is good at.
Just kept it tight. They've moved the ball through phases, and they've been more clinical than they were in the first half. Here's the try scorer. Dylan Rigney has had a blinder of a second half, in spite of that missed catch on the cross kick. Benny Boetas will get Alberton going, but can he get the team going and coming back into this match? Tumimake will clean things up, and a knock on there, I'm afraid. So Alberton will have a little bit of respite in the half of Pirates.
Udo, let me just brief you quickly on the slight changes that have taken place while in this mayhem of an up and down and exciting match that we're having. Doesn't give us an opportunity just to break it down. A few changes from Alberton's side. Basically, Blaze has come on to replace Brian Sola, and obviously on the 22 jersey, which is Ray Koch. I used to know him as a backline player, as they replaced number 6, Kevin Grobland on the other side. And then when it comes to the last person, not least, Baron Foster, who replaced the Silver Fox at number 10. So now obviously the young man, Allen, is about to feed in the scrum that Alberton is hosting. And obviously the pressure is already mounting from Pirates' side.
Beautiful shove by Pirates. They've turned this one over. Heel against the head, but unfortunately, is that Mukendi with a knock on, with the space beckoning.
My man.
We've seen the best, we've seen the worst.
Yeah, no, we've seen a bit of a mixed bag here today. And a bit of everything. I think, to his defense, I think the sun was too much in his eye. But I said that that been said as well. I think the man in the middle must have compromised.
S-U-N. I can think of another three-letter word, actually.
I think the man in the middle must have just compromised, because that scrum that Alberton was bulldozed on was an early scrum from Pirates. But obviously that penalty came as just a blessing in disguise, because I think they didn't deserve to be bulldozed that much, although it's their responsibility to make sure their setup is proper and they get a nice sorting there as well. Or Schaefer needs to actually reciprocate the effort that the Ohlala has actually laid. And I know he's a decent tight head as well. He must just come and actually take control of himself.
Critical phase of the game here. Alberton will feel they need to score to get back in this game. They got good possession at the back of the line out. They've set up for the drive. Referee keeping a close watch on those front feet of the defense of Pirates. They are in an onside position, so now Alberton have to control this. They've been driven backwards. Poor pass from that position. But it's still advantage to Alberton. Looked like the tackle was a little bit high. And Blaise Felix, who's come on, I think is asking for a kick at goal, but I doubt. In fact, it was a dangerous tackle. So Benny Boertes, will he go for the poles? 26-12 down, 3 points beckoning versus 7, Lawrence.
I think they're not trying to make this score a bit of a wide thing. Remember, for them, keeping the score as close as possible would be actually a win for them, as the underdog who came here with actually a scoreboard that was supposed to be actually that big. Now to actually shorten it makes them still be a win. If they can win, or basically Pirates can win within 10, that will actually a positive thing for Pirates at the moment. And one thing I also must correct, I replaced the log Brian Solar captain is actually not off. It's Sasha Jacobs that actually been replaced by Blaise. So my apologies, I just to rectify that.
Byron van Onselen taking over the kicking duties at poles from Benny Boertes. Came on as a first-half substitute late in the half, and I'm afraid he doesn't make that either. Missed to the left. The danger of taking the 3 when 7 are beckoning in a match that you are chasing. You gotta take the points if you do decide to take the 3.
Yeah, jonga kwezinto ngokungati Alberton ileqa izibhoki because his score is 26-12. Uzokhaba nge 3 points inyana pha, ayenzi sense at all.
Lovely little step inside there by Aaron Roberts. It's been a live wire today. Pushed back like garbage to the bin. Hey. Lovely little grubber through. Oh my goodness, there's contact off the ball. And there'll be immense pain on the field, but staying with where the ball is right now, it's Benny Boertes who will clean up. Keeps it alive. But will now roll out. That was a terrible crunching sound to the replacement scrum for Pirates, Tumi Make. It's down and receiving treatment.
Yeah, I think there's the referee will probably take it as an accidental situation. Oh,
I don't know. We've seen time and time again, you gotta understand the potential outcome of your actions.
No, you must look at,
I'm afraid serious action potentially will be taken here.
No, I think if I actually can slightly bring it to you, remember, I don't think he will take an action, because for him it will seem like a rugby collision. What happened, the reverse scrummer was looking at the ball, he was trying to snatch at it, not actually inside that the fullback, the veteran, are coming in at high speed. But I think the veteran, if anything else, he's the one who should be penalized. He was not realistic
That's
position
exactly
to
what I'm
catch the
talking
ball.
about.
And obviously, if that's not the case, a lot of people will be looking at it like he was in the air, he's got all the rights, but you could be in the air and do absolutely nothing. And that's exactly the situation that we will consider as just an accident, because he put himself in danger as well. But obviously, he in that position, we would actually let it go. But
my question, and I'm sure we will see that contest for the ball again. But at the point at which Flock goes up, was he ultimately even playing at the ball?
Remember, what they also look for was the defending player in a realistic position to compete, which he was, but they chose not to go. But at the same time, he didn't impede with him. He was snatching at the ball, and when actually Flock actually ran onto him, And obviously the big man there, number 70.
Craig Hume, the prop,
Yeah,
he's off receiving treatment.
Decided to take an early shift and come over and brings in basically the man that was a stat, but that is basically doing good for them the whole day. But I'm sure Pirates won't be complaining about that.
The other good news.
He's got to do because what's his man is coming back on. Real Kutsier coming back at tight. I suppose he's gonna stabilize things. He's gonna stabilize things at the proper section because I think Alberton has been running havoc since he left.
The other good news is that replacement scrummer for Pirates, Tumi Maki, after receiving treatment, is back on his feet, looking to contest with his opposite number, Alan Roberts, will feed into the scrum here. It's within the 22 of Pirates. They have good possession here. Can they conjure the kind of scrummaging that we saw in the first half by the Ierland family of Alberton? They need a big shove here.
And Damien actually need to be smart about this because he needs to make sure he keeps Henry in place and actually opens up the gap so that Ellen can throw in the ball. But the most important person in this whole picture is the Brandon Schaefer. He needs to take control of his opposition on the other side and actually dominate him to give him a sort of a decent right shoulder. If they don't get that, I think I bet you 10 rand that that the Pirates will actually have got thirst to actually scram Alberton back on this position because they feel he's not as good as Lindo.
Roberts with a feed, they hook that one quickly, do they? And now they play out wide. And unfortunately goes a begging. And that knock-on coming at the very instant that this wind that has been strong, that has died down for a good 15 minutes, has started gusting again. Don't know what impact it's had on that pass.
Even that move for me looked a lot suspicious. I mean, how deep they were playing. Decided to leave the ball behind, unfortunately. The number 13 was actually had a good day the whole day. Unfortunately, I think much fatigue kicking in as well at the same time. He's actually been well. He's been good on defense. He's been good on attack. But I suppose rugby's got those moments as well that a lack of concentration at crucial moments can actually cost you a possession of the ball.
This time a Pirates feed. Free now, just taking a little bit more time to get the big men settled. They know what's at stake.
Wrong side. I could tear Pama. Number 9 had a plan of going to the right. Number 8 had plans to go to the left unless it was a set plan to just defuse.
It was in fact Johan Reiniger trying to go left there. Good kick by Divanal. Will he get a good fortuitous bounce? He will indeed. That will gain plenty meters and a nice little breather. And on the flip side, it's Alberton who got to turn back and run all the way into their own half.
Well, I must add, Ludo, I think this truck of Alberton, this 18-wheeler that came fully packed, fully pumped, fully motivated, ingathi umoya is slowly sipping through their pockets. Engathi kunzima ngoku mane le bag yasinda. That spirit that actually come fighting in the middle. Ngathi pelile, I don't know, suppose it's just the fatigue that has decided to take over.
The untidy line out. That was knocked on by the replacement lock in the form of Clayton Martin there, so it should be Alberton ball. Ja, het lijkt niet die wiele raak bietjie pappie vir Alberton. Hulle kort 'n bietjie van 'n pomp.
They need a one spark, just a spark, even if it's an intercept or just a moment of brilliance, just to get them. But I think if they can just click a try, that might just build their confidence and come back into the game. But certainly certain things have gone flat, and you can see with how they're playing as well. They're being individualistic. Well, they were actually a beautiful collective in the first half. They were doing things in synergy. They were actually playing with each other. The forwards were in the game. The backs were actually controlling things. But at this point in time, there's like a disjointed movement. And even Pirates for that should be a free kick because Pirates actually scrammed early.
Oh boy, that was a bad mistake. Really bad mistake by Pirates. Can they capitalize? Sean Gitter rather runs into a wall of blue. The ball pops out, but fortunately backwards for him. now just a careless pass.
Another careless one.
Meters from the try line. Needed cleaning up, and it has been at least. Alberton, their own worst enemies, and I understand they're chasing the game, but you can't be too adventurous either, no matter how much experience you have.
But I must say, just in defense of Alberton and the reserves, you must understand these guys all week, they train in different teams and only had to slot in a few minutes in the first team when they've come, because they don't have reserve training together the whole week. But that's just the nature of the system at club level. And now you can see now the disjointedness that they're actually showing us at the moment, that these guys, they're probably coming from two different planets, and the way they actually are putting it together. But Pirates is done in the opposite direction.
Yeah, here comes the line-out drive again. We've seen a couple of tries from this already. Lovely dart through the middle. Was that Dylan Rigney again? A few meters short. He stopped. Now, Brian Sola will have to master his player's defense, but rolling over the try line there is Pirates. Would that count as a double movement, though? Or was it the momentum taking him over the line?
Well, if you hit the ground and you roll, they're probably going to consult about it, decide if it does too much movement or was it just a roll.
I think it was Johan Reinicke there.
Oh, okay, shot. Okay. It was held up.
So held up over the line. Let's have a look at this again, because at 6s and 7s were the Alberton defense. They peeled off so quickly. And then it was Johan Reinicke, whose momentum took him over the line, but it was adjudged to have been held up.
Well,
by what?
Been judged from the touch judge, which is not cited of the try himself, which should be, but he actually gave the call that they actually were held up. But Pirates, I think, in a great position now. Obviously, they're commanding respect, and they're actually in charge of this situation. They could actually even ask for an 8-man shove instead of taking the ball out and actually walk over to redeem themselves for the damage they've actually done to in the first half.
Try line's beckoning. Divan Nal gets it going.
I don't understand.
I thought the fly-off was going to take a bit of contact there, or at least go for the line. What is it, 4 or 5 meters away?
Problem is that, what did I call an 8-man shove? And Pirates was on their way, and the reserve scrum have decided to take the ball out. I mean, that's game management that they should be able to control and look at the situation, assess it, because they were in a good position to get that 8-man shove. Because if he left the ball long enough and Alberton collapsed the scrum, the referee would have definitely walked to the poles for a penalty try.
I'd hate to be coached by you on a Monday morning. My goodness, I'm getting chills just from that scolding, Lawrence Zapaka. Net result, it is still Pirates ball. Alberton still within a meter or two of their own try line. And the way that Pirates have scrummed, you've got to favor them to turn this into points. And as Coach Lawrence has called for just a little bit of patience.
I hope Divan has actually told him now, like, listen, just wait a little bit longer. Our tight forwards are actually in control of the situation. Just wait and see what they do. Man is going to have another reset. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to be actually repeated. But obviously, Alberton know now that they could be coming. And then what they've done as well, remember I've told you, the Lucet, Damien Klaus, that's actually a formidable tight end. He was playing Lucet with Lindo in the beginning. I think coaches has come to their senses, have moved them back to tight end and taken Schaefer up to Lucet, because Schaefer is not bad at Lucet as well, but it's actually better at Lucet. As to why they were playing tight end, I don't know, but obviously they've got that advantage of one who can actually do both on the field and actually has got the engine to carry on for as much as he can. That's why maybe now it was not easy to walk with them as they did in the first one, because they did that change immediately after the first scrum.
Less than 3 minutes to go. Pirates up 26-12. They're threatening the line again, and 8-man shove was called for, but it's the flanker who takes the ball out. And Alberton, I tell you what, great defense on their breaches. They've turned this one over.
I'm telling you, the tactical changes that coach or the players themselves decided to do after that first scrum as a result of this good result that they have now. Because the scrum was not as weak as Pirates expected it to be. And actually they got a positive. The flanker was in an advantage when the ball came out. He actually was over the advantage line as quick as a flash. And that actually caused a penalty because Alberton players was over the ball.
You see Johan Reinicke there just holding on with the opponent shielding over the ball and looking to force the turnover. He did. And it's inside centre, Benny Bottas, Corporal Bottas, who gets Alberton off their try line and 5 meters into their own half. Throw goes to the back. Ugly throw once more, but possession retained. It's Rigney who will take the ball up a few meters. Penalty for not allowing the man to set the ball there. Brian Sola, I'm afraid, the guilty party.
Unfortunately, I think Mr. Rev might have got that one wrong, because he was not the first arrival. The first arrival, number 22, had all the rights. And if you can look at it now, the tackle is made. Nice, beautiful textbook tackle. The problem, he didn't release. Okay, my apologies. The ref have got it right. Tackler never released, had a clear release to actually have the right to go there, because he was on his feet. But he was so eager that he forgot to take his hands off of the tackle player.
I've got to apologise as well. It wasn't Sola, it was Byron Foster, the infringer there. Net result is that Pirates have a line out, a couple of meters out from the Alberton try line. Ugly throw, but they get lucky as it pops up in possession of Pirates at the back. They have an opportunity here from the ruck. It's Bakos who barges over the line for a late try.
Is it Dylan? Yeah, definitely open up a can of something after that try as well. Well deserved. I mean, he's had a rough day at the office for them to be getting this with a bit of lotion to that head of hell. Actually, just a pure celebration. Well done.
Good spatial awareness. Lovely shift of the weight. He finds himself then in the gap and he goes over for the try. Well worked.
Brendan Schaefer is probably still wondering, see me now, see me no more. He thought he had him. The next minute he's watching him score a try behind him. Obviously just a lack in defense. Unfortunately, I think that the technical changes and the reserves from Alberton didn't come to the party, but one must give them the visitors have really put up a good fight. But unfortunately, I think things are not ending as they started. Obviously, the advantage of having two halves in a rugby match.
This should be the last action of an enthralling encounter. Divan now looking to add the extra 2-pointer. The flags are hoisted, he'll get the 2 points. Pirates shift on to 33-12, and that's how this one will come to an end. It's been a topsy-turvy affair. The old cliche of a tale of two halves, never been truer than today.
Yeah, and I suppose Pirates have used it to the perfect effect, and they've used it to exactly what it's supposed to mean. They had a horrible first half and came back in the second half and made amends and did a good job. But you must say they're the same with Alberton. I think they put up a good fight until the wheels fell off. And obviously must give them credit. They didn't take it down lying. They came up and actually put up a good show.
Been a couple of lovely signs for Alberton as well. The play of flanker Sean Potgieter, he was really good. Alan Roberts, the scrum half, was smooth in his execution today. But at the end of it, that tight phase, the scrums, was starting to be dominated by Pirates towards the middle of the second half, and they took that dominance and turned it into a whole whack of points. 33 in total to win over Lifestyle Alberton Rugby Club, 33 points to 12. That's the final score here from Pirates Rugby Club on what has been a fantastic afternoon.
But I must tell you though, I think Alberton has really stood up today. I mean, the best defense I've seen in a long time. I think that's actually credit that gave them confidence to be able to do what they did today. They must have the hold they held up, and they did very well. I mean, handling errors, not bad. Turnovers, you look at it, 9-3, and basically you can see Albert did come to play. But unfortunately, I think the host had to stand up and actually make sure that they actually do everything right today.
So there we have it, the full-time score. Pirates Rugby Club 33-12 winners of a Lifestyle Alberton Rugby Club in the Memorial Cup. Yeah. You got that score on the board? You got it, no? I'll reflect it. Brian Sola, Captain Alberton. Yeah. I'm going to ask you, Brian, as I say goodbye to you, just pass the mic to your coach. Your coach will walk in with a cap, with a mic. Yeah, cool. Don't need it for pre-records, bro. Need it for lives. The whole Pirates team is coming this way. They're trying to intimidate you. And then we also just be prepared for Pirates captain and coach as well, ne? Guys. Got you. How much total? What a game we've had here at Pirates Rugby Club, because it was the home side trailing at the break to win. You'll see the score there, 33-12 at the end of it against Alberton. Standing here with the captain of Lifestyle Alberton Rugby Club. Brian, heartache for you at the end of it. What do you ascribe the loss to at the end of the day?
Look, I must say, first of all, thanks to the Pirates. I know coming here is not easy. Every time we play against them, we're expecting a very, very tough game. Unfortunately, the ball didn't bounce our way. So we say well done to them and thank you for the hard game. We knew all the time coming here, it's going to be a hard one.
There was a shift in momentum and power in the way that you guys scrummed in the first half versus the second half. What was it? Why was it?
Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I think technically the momentum was there on the first half. We killed them. Everything was there. The power was there. Then second half, I don't know, something just switched off. I think the injuries and the subs that came in but made a huge difference. Thank you.
Skip, unlucky for today, but well played personally, and you can hold your heads high after that performance. And we go, of course, from the captain to the coach of Alberton, Lifestyle Alberton Rugby Club, Flo. Francois Lowe standing here with me. You were a happy man at the break. I saw you crack a smile, and then the ascendancy just slipped away from you progressively in that second half. What do you write that down to?
I'll say it's the young guys giving the guys opportunity, the youngsters coming out on the bench. But that's the way you learn, through hard experience. And against Pirates, you have to take the opportunities and score when you get them. There
were some fantastic standout individual performances there. There was fantastic reference that we can make to the way that you guys scrummed in the first half and outscored a side who on paper should have the better of you.
Yeah, like I said, it's a learning curve. We're a young squad and we're building for next year. That's what Alberton Lifestyle is about.
There we go, Flo. I thank you so much for that, and we keep bringing the changes. We bring in our next guest, the captain of Pirates, Hooker Terblanche. Skip, how do you feel after that win?
Sure, yeah, no, look, it was nerve-wracking. But yeah, look, we'll take it. A win's a win. We always knew it was going to be a tough game. Alberton's never easy. But yeah, we'll take it.
The fans out there will simply be asking you after this game, what took you so long to arrive?
Yeah, no, look, I'm going to have a lot of questions to answer. But look, at the end of the day, we take the win. Second half, we seem to gel a lot better. We stopped the errors and things just seem to come together towards the end. So yeah, we'll take it. We're happy.
Lovely, fantastic. There we go, the captain of Pirates. And we have a final word, of course, to the man who masterminded it all, the coach that we spoke to at the beginning of the game. 40.
Yeah.
You're not a man for big smiles and celebrations,
No,
but you got to be at least very animated about the way that your boys pulled it through today.
Yeah, a little disappointing how we played at some areas of the game. Like we made a lot of handling errors, which are a little disappointing. We work hard on that. But the guys, the fitness levels were there. They worked really hard till the end, and so things started turning our way as we sort of stayed in it. And
all right, where does this leave you now in the Memorial Cup?
So we'll be somewhere near the top. Obviously, a lot of it depends on what happens over the next few weeks, but we'll be 3 or 4 at the moment. And for us, if one of the sides ahead of us gets rolled over by either an Alberton or maybe by each other, then we could be in for 2 or 1. So we're hoping for things to go our way. Until then, though, we'll just keep pushing ahead like we are.
Now, mate, televised today on the national broadcaster, but back there was crowds back in the stand. How much of a difference did it make to you? How much of a difference did it make to the boys?
It's huge for the club. It's wonderful to have a bit of support here, especially our old boys and old girls here yelling us on. It does make a difference to the players, so it's great to be back to a little bit of normality. So it's, yeah, great.
Fantastic. There we go. 40, well done on the win today. We wish you the best of luck in the Memorial Cup. And opportunity now for us to bring in the big boss at SABC Sport, our GM, of course, Gary Rathbone, because, you know, we'll normally sit in studio on a Saturday afternoon with the French Top 14, lovely offering as well. But Gary, here we are in Greenside, Johannesburg, coinciding with 2,000 people at outdoor venues and covering club rugby.
Well, I'm absolutely excited. It's brilliant. This is the start of a lot to come, you know, big things to come for club rugby. We want to do a lot more. I think in 2022, we're going to really make a big thing about this, you know, making sure that club rugby is a key part of our SABC offering. And so, yeah, Udo, we're hoping to get you guys out in the outdoors a lot more often, basically.
I just want to say, you didn't pick the winner by any chance, just judging from your T-shirt today, right?
Yeah, I didn't have a Pirates shirt. This is the closest I had my St. Pauli shirt, basically. But I think I've got to get a Pirates shirt. Yeah, so
I think you need to button up that shirt before the Alberton guys come here, but it is fantastic.
Brilliant.
Wonderful offering, and most importantly, as a national broadcaster, we are out in a community.
Well, that's what it's about for me. As a national broadcaster, that's where we should be, you know. Getting out to the communities. Club rugby is that. Club rugby represents the communities, the grassroots sort of game across the country. So we need to be speaking to that. We need to show South Africans, you know, the experience that they see in their everyday lives. These people will watch this game on TV and they'll know these players, they'll know the experience, they'll know the venues in a very, very personal way. And this speaks to ordinary South African rugby fans, millions of South African rugby fans across the country. And at the same time, is give people, and you see the quality of the game. This is great. This is really exciting. It was good, you know, television rugby, basically. So it just shows that we can, you know, there's good quality rugby, and we can do that and bring that on the SABC to everybody.
So the undertaking is we will be out and about. We still have the French Top 14.
Oh yeah, no, we still got the French Top 14. Well, yeah. French Top 14 fans, don't go away. We're just bringing you more rugby now. That's what it's all about. More rugby.
GM SABC Sport also looking forward to the start of our Cricket World Cup, T20 World Cup coverage as of tomorrow.
Yes, yeah, so that'll be on the radio, so that's been fantastic. So we're going to be able to make sure that people do actually be able to keep up with that, basically. And yeah, no, and there's just got so much great sport coming up. Following the Cricket World Cup, we'll have the India tour coming up, the Netherlands tour on the cricket side as well. No, there's just lots of great sport. That's what we're about in the SABC, making sure that all South Africans get the chance to see the sport that really matters to them.
Gary, thank you very much, and I mean it. Please button up that shirt now. We don't want Albert to think that the national broadcaster has picked a side for this one. At the end of a fantastic Memorial Cup match between Pirates, who won 33-12 over the visitors today, Lifestyle Alberton, and they are still alive in the Memorial Cup. Quick little break. We'll catch you on the other side.
Bloody!
Wie nou weggeloop? Ja, man, ek operate. Hier's my lyn. I've been on my line. Hey, Mudiri, I've been on my line here, ne?
No, what's it?
Am I moving?
Ja, was het net 2 ligte. Okay, how long was it?
Emil, fuck off.
About 2 minutes, guys.
2 minutes.
All right. Nice and cool, eh?
Jy gaan hom nou film in die lug, papa. Yo, I am gonna smoke a cigarette to death now. Charra.
When the sun goes down, someone just opens up the fridge somewhere. It could be very hot.
Deep freeze.
So
Ja, but it's the freezers when they take all the beers out.
then it breathes.
Emil. Wag, nee, ek het sigaret.
Ja, jy het ja.
Maar nou net gesê het, hou een op standby. My hart kan dit nie meer vat nie, hou een op standby. Sal jy nou gee?
1, 2, 1, 2, I'm here.
So you're saying they have 1.5 to rep?
Start on a 2. Or you want to come here and then go there? Because I want his reaction, man. Yeah, I want his reaction.